Proctor here. It's almost election time, and you fine fuckers need to get out and vote. I don't care if you're voting third party. I don't care if you're voting for Trump. I think you're an idiot, but, you know, vote for poisoning your own well if you're going to vote. Just vote. I absolutely can't just emphasize this enough. People out there are concerned about so much shit with the Democrats, and I get that. I do too. Like, I'm a gun owner. People are really, really worried about their high capacity magazines. I get it. I'm on board with that. Totally fucking understand that. People like us, people that, yeah, I get it. That's the concern, you know? Regardless of your stands on gun control, almost everything else right now is teetering. And if you don't believe in the Democrats, I don't really either, so I get it. But the pendulum swings back and forth, and that's how our society has lived for a while between the two parties. And I think that's what keeps it going, personally. I think there's a lot to be said for that dynamic between those two. As shitty as they are, it is a realistic dynamic that isn't going to change anytime soon. So the main reason I'm voting for Joe Biden is because I don't want to see the world collapse in on itself like a dying star. And that's pretty much what's fucking happening socioeconomically, fucking socially. Like, everything is just fucking falling apart right now, and it's a shit show. So for those people that are right in the middle and not kind of sure who they're going to vote for, I ask you, how the fuck are you not sure? Like, I'm a third-party voter, and I absolutely loathe the idea of voting for Joe Biden, but I also loathe the idea of my kid growing up in a wasteland of discarded belongings. So it's pretty fucking easy to me. The consumerism in me says, who needs UBI? The fucking American populace. And the only way that's going to happen is if the Democrats win. And I really, really say that even then, you know, there's a lot of concern. Well, yeah, they're never going to do it. I absolutely think they actually will do it. And the reason why I think that's going to happen is they've been pushing for that $2,000 a month shit since the pandemic started. And that will be a good case study to show that strong capitalist economies exist with strong consumers. Strong consumers exist when they have money to spend and blow on little things like pet rocks and fucking video games, PlayStation 5s, and fucking everything else. Plastic. Lots of plastic. They can just buy lots of plastic inside of packages of plastic, inside of more packages of plastic, inside of cardboard, and then those get packaged inside of plastic so they don't get in the rain when they're delivered to your doorstep on Amazon.com. You people, and I mean everyone, really needs to understand that without some sort of basic UBI, we're just gonna fall in, because we can't have a society that is completely reliant on social programs, and we can't have a society that allows the wealthiest, corporatist douchebags from absorbing everything that benefit from unfair tax theft plans that basically are stealing from us, not from these large companies. So yeah, taxation is theft, but taxes could also exist in a society that benefits from robots, because taxation is theft except for when from robots. Robots, tax robot labor. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been trying to get this going virally for a while, and it probably won't catch on because people don't know what the fuck it is. But tax robot labor, put a hashtag in front of it. Call it fancy. I don't give a shit. The point is that if you give your money to the government, they're gonna fuck it up. But if you take money from the government, it's gonna benefit the government in society, in capitalism as a whole. Money, straight money, not social programs, not welfare, not free fucking healthcare, none of that shit. Just straight money, injecting it into our hands, into communities. 100,000 homes in a trailer park. That's $100,000 a month generated just in that tiny community. You think what that could do for bakers and all that? We've talked about this endlessly. The point is the only way that that's going to happen, we have any chance at this negative income tax type thing, is if we really, really, really wake the fuck up and just stuff our third party vote for this one time. I've voted third party my entire fucking adult life. Every single one. Nader, Johnson, fucking, you name it. Like, I get it. In last election, I got it. This election, I also get it. But it's kind of Hail Mary time when it comes to our country existing past this next couple of months between coronavirus and poverty that's going to just hit horrific proportions. People are just going to be dying in the fucking streets. And they never got any type of stimulus through because it wasn't political leverage. And that, unfortunately, is a good reason to not vote for Democrat. I get that, you know? I get it. I have a young son, and I if you ask any of my friends, I'm a big fucking softie. I'm always paranoid about everything. I'm too much of an overprotective dad in a lot of ways. I hover over. I'm definitely a helicopter parent. I lost my wife, and there's a lot of that there too. But we're all scared for our kids' future. Even if you're the guy that wants to teach their 6-year-old how to use a fully automatic weapon because you want him to be able to, be on your 6. Like, I get that. I get it. Like, this shit's getting fucking post-apocalyptic. And the militias and shit, I understand the tyrannical government, no matter who runs it, is a shitty government a lot of the times. But when they have to keep up with appearances, a lot of times they adapt to the needs of society. And if you can really get in to make changes, like a lot of the third-party candidates are trying to do, I think that, here's a good example of how Democrats can shift things to benefit third parties. And I know this is crazy because largely the Democrat Party keeps people out. And I think that's shitty coming from a libertarian perspective. My big thing with that is Maine is a good example where that broke through and ranked choice voting exists now. And that allows them to do something exponentially amazing in their political system. They can choose the people they like first, and then the people that they want as a backup. Like, you wanted to vote Yang, but then you're like, nah, I'm going to vote Yang, but second is Bernie Sanders, and third, I'll take Biden because I really don't want Trump to be president. Whatever it is, that existed because of that. So I'll give that to the Democrats. I also give big spending and wastefulness and partisan line towing and bullshit that they have now impacted people's lives. This isn't just political fucking games. People are dying. So I understand the contempt for the Democratic fucking Party completely. But we can't have Trump for another 4 years. He's just entirely too divisive. He's entirely problematic when it comes to how we view things. When, reality and facts, taking them and making them into non-facts is just... Personal truths are not a thing, right? I mean, they are a thing, but they're not... You can't measure anything in life based on personal truths, in my opinion. We'll leave it there. Personal truths are, I believe in God. I believe evolution. This is personal to you. Objective truths are, it is true regardless of how you interfere with it, whether you measure it. The argument can be made that when you measure something, you change it. So that's going down the path of, like an existentialism kind of thing. But I can very, very definitively say that I lost my track of thought. Going into an existential thought process. Fucking A. It always changes up things when I go on a tangent. But I guess what I'm getting at is if we try to see things from a new point, a new perspective, we can kind of start to make changes. But I think that, I'll get back to what I was getting at, I think. We're talking about ranked choice voting and making a difference in that area. Maine has made ranked choice voting to be a reality, and now they can vote for the people they want. And the libertarians have a real chance in Maine now, I think, and that's a big thing to be said. And Democrats kind of helped with that. So you got to see things objectively. Objective truths are not personal truths. That's where we're going, and I'm glad that I brought that up in full circle. That's why the podcast I co-host is called Abstract Transmissions. We objectively see things and be able to measure them. Gravity is objective, truth. Things that you can measure and they can stay consistently measurable by everyone. And that's how science works, right? I mean, we can all agree on this one thing, that we measured it and all came out the same way, regardless of our belief system, of our experiences, of our personal lives. So when I say an objective truth is that, Donald Trump is divisive, it's a fact. I mean, he is a divisive president. Reagan wasn't a divisive president. Bush wasn't a divisive president. Neither of them were. Neither of the Bushes. Like, you say what you want about Bush, but he wasn't divisive. If anything, I felt like he tried to bring people together a little bit more, at least in his own deluded eyes. So when you go to the polls, think about what you want for the next 4 years. People kind of talking and meeting in the middle, or do you want them, kind of still fighting? And I think that that's the big thing, is that Democrats aren't, all about uniting us, right? They have their own agenda and all that stuff. But I do think that no one wants to be king of the ashes. And I don't think Donald Trump has any concept of that. I think that there's a societal agreement that everyone wants to continue to live and exist for as long as they can, and in a safe society that their kids can raise up safely, and I think everybody wants to do that. So those are things that we can all agree on. The way things are going right now with Trump, it is literally going to continue to get worse, because, and the test to what's going to happen in the future isn't what, is happening now, is happening under Trump, not Biden. So to say, it's going to get worse under Biden just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's been getting worse under Trump, and it doesn't seem like it's going to get better. This fall's going to be awful. This winter's going to be awful, and people are going to be dying in igloos, that they make in the fucking snowbanks on the side of the road. It's going to be fucking insane, and people aren't fucking ready for it. And we need to be fucking ready for it, because it's going to be, oops, too late. We should have done something. What happened? We could have never seen this coming. It was so unpredictable. My fucking ass. Get out and vote, even if it's for third party. Worst case scenario is you're probably not voting for Trump if you're voting third party, because the vote's going to Trump. So I think that regardless of who you vote for, make sure you vote. Vote in your local elections. For the love of God, it matters so much more than this. And that's how we got to this, because people don't vote in their local elections halfway through the year, the primaries, any of that. I'll leave you to it. But, I guess I'll quote Obama here, which is fucking odd for me. Don't boo, vote.